What's going on there, everybody? Thought I'd hop on here. Tell you what's been going on, what I've been watching in my little world. It's starting to get cold out here, so hope you're bundled up like me. But how many of y'all out there are familiar with Amber Guyger? I think she, the female police officer that entered the man's house she was dating. Yeah, she was probably dating him, and killed him. And then she tried to say that her excuse was that she thought it was her house. So she entered this man's house. Well, actually, there's people that's saying that they actually overheard her on the phone, probably apparently talking to him, pacing back and forth on his floor until she eventually went to his room, or went to his apartment door, banging on the door, talking about "let me in." So, like, I don't know, just some cases. Sometimes when you have a case, or you have a defendant and a plaintiff, and it's just like, like, okay, the fact that there's witnesses saying that they overheard her talking about "let me in." That declaration right there says that is not your house, because who begs to get in their own house? That's what they make keys for, right? And then they trying to say that the witnesses didn't tell that information to the investigators when they arrived on the scene, which is probably false. Maybe I'll get an investigators the benefit of the doubt and say maybe they did write it down, but it was left out. It was pretty much left out a lot of the preliminary reports when that first happened. It was basically said that the police officer who was off duty at the time went into the guy's house, or went into a house that she thought was his, seen him sitting on a couch. He approached her and she shot him or whatever. So, okay, now that more information is coming out, we find out that, like I said, she was pacing on the floor, probably talking to him on the phone. Eventually went to his house, knocked on the door, banged on the doors, begged to get in. Once she got in, she shot him. So it sounds like, a crime of passion. We always try to, well, y'all always saying we dehumanize the police. So, let's give them their human elements back and say, okay, this woman was upset about a breakup. She, got off work that day, probably been calling this guy all day. He ain't giving her literally breaks in and shit. So I don't, a lot of times you see these police cases where they overcharge the police, and it's kind of hard to convict them on that charge, which I don't think a police should ever be charged with murder in the first degree. 'Cause I don't, I give them the benefit of that. I don't think they just get like, oh, I'm gonna kill me a black person that day. So, but what she did, breaking into his house and then shooting him. Then, a lot of the witness saying we heard her begging to get in. We saw her pacing on the floor talking to him. This should be an easy case. Like, let's not even, let's, like, I don't know, I guess I don't want to say let's make an example, but I don't know. It's just time to start punishing, the police that kind of take the law into their own hand, become jury, judge, and executioner right there in the street. Or you know, I heard something. It said if I know it's hard for us to find, it's hard for us to, find fair treatment out in these streets. But, can we at least get this fair treatment in our living rooms? So it's like, man, that's crazy. But then, the thing is, you never get to hear that other side. Like, if he had lived and 2 months later or whenever he's able to talk and he say, yes, we were in a relationship, this case becomes even easier. Okay, she's off duty. I know she probably still got the blue line of protection, but let's just make this case go fast, lock her up, and kind of move on. And that kind of leads me to my next thing, because like with Kareem Hunt, running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, it looked like he was drunk on his video. I don't know if y'all familiar with the video that TMZ. Man, look, TMZ. I don't know who. Man, that is the best police force in the country. They have every video. They got all camera footages. They know everything that's happening. They know all the names and everything. But they put out a video on Kareem Hunt, Kansas City Chiefs running back. Looked like he was drunk, dealing with another drunk woman in a hotel lobby. Looked like maybe the city he was in prior to a game Sunday or something like that. Or it could have been a while back. I'm not even sure. But looks like they was having an altercation. And he said that his girlfriend was with him. So maybe they was just all drinking out. They was all out drinking that night as friends. But what happened is he ended up punching the lady, or pushing the lady, and kicking her. And, his punishment was real swift. The Kansas City Chiefs let go one of the best running backs in the NFL based off a video, you don't really hear anything. Not that you would probably hear her begging him to hit her. I'm just saying you don't hear anything. You just see the video. And, he do push his friend, or a guy and her. He pushes the guy into her. They fall. And then he comes over to her and he kick her with probably maybe 5% of his might. But I guess it's just a suggestion that he picked his foot up off the ground and kicked her. So I'm like, damn, why did they let him go so fast? Why was there such a demand that he be released instantly, without any real investigation? And that is the swift justice we kind of asked for the police. But a black NFL player, pushing down a female that they deem innocent. Nah, we need swift justice. We will not tolerate this. Blah blah blah. Then it's all said and done. He's let go. I don't know, a couple days after the video comes out. I don't know. I guess it's different strokes for different folks. I remember the Saints kicker. He had tons and tons of domestic violence cases, and it took a while for the NFL to even fool with him. She was kind of begging for her own security. I don't know. I'll post a link to that video and his name, because I can't think of it right now. But it was a kicker in the NFL, was just beating the shit out of his wife, and nothing was ever done. So, rolled, to a while later. So, no swift justice for him, swift justice for Kareem Hunt. I kind of wonder why. But last thing, and touching on this note, man, the Cincinnati Bengals, y'all, I don't know. Marvin has been there 16 years. He's never won a playoff game. He fails to lead his team. He's not a head coach in any way of the word. There's no mental connection. There's no mental inspiration. He just stands on the sideline, look clueless, and clap and scream, "Let's go." He's the type of guy that will try to force an oversized block into a smaller shaped hole. He the type of guy that says, I have to do better in forcing this oversized shape into this small hole. When right beside him sits a saw or some scissors, anything he could use to chop that shape into a more comparable dimension that would allow it to go in the hole. He said no, hard work gets this shape through the hole. And that's pretty much, I don't know, that's kind of like that's pretty much what, how the Bengals operate as a franchise. There's no real inspiration to be innovative. We're gonna force this big ass shape into this small hole, and if it's not going in there, it's our fault. There's no road to try to find another route to making this hole fit or making this block fit. I just have to push it in, and if I'm not getting it in, I'm not trying hard enough. I don't know. I'm a fan of the Bengals. I think I'm slowly becoming not a fan of the Bengals. I would love to see AJ Green, AJ and Joe Mixon leave and just get out of there. But I'm gonna touch on the Bengals a little bit later. I can really go into detail and share my reasons why I think Marvin Lewis is a mole. A mole in a sense that he is there in place only to make sure they are not succeeding in an effort to make sure the NFL darlings of the league stay in position to keep the NFL earning money. So I'm glad y'all tuned in. Catch y'all next time.